Let spirit lead the way. We are Shaltazar, the Gavish Maninu, the energy of 33, the master teacher. Take a deep breath, and another. Breathe us in. Feel us, for we are here with you now and forever. No trying, just surrender. Let go. We know it is difficult with so much going on around you at this time in your human history. But just drop the mind for a moment. Feel what it is like when the mind is still. The mind is not comfortable when it is still. It feels it must always be on guard, protecting you against danger. And yes, there is much danger, much darkness, much uncertainty all around you on your planet at this time. You are left with a challenging dilemma. How can you stay safe if you quiet your mind? If your mind is not looking out for danger, how will you be safe? And we would say the answer is faith. We know it is difficult to trust what you do not fully understand. Although you may think you know us, we have told you often you cannot fully comprehend who or what we are. And so the faith you must have to feel safe requires a trust that is not common in your world. The more the energy of change intensifies, the more you feel you need to be constantly on guard. But being constantly on guard overstimulates your sympathetic nervous system. You are producing a constant flow of adrenaline, flight or fight. So how can we trust when we are so full of adrenaline, you ask? And therein lies your greatest challenge. If you don't trust, if you don't have faith, if you insist on being in control, you will have difficulty enjoying your life at this time. The energy of change is intense, and you are in the midst of it. It may not subside for some time, but if you choose to let go, to trust, to have faith, you will be very vulnerable to the forces of darkness that are being stirred up with the intense waves of change energy coming your way. As we explained in the message about storms continuously coming forth in waves, this is a rocky time in human history. If you insist on staying in your mind, if you insist on staying on guard, you will not move to higher circles of consciousness. You will continue to experience the same storm over and over again, and it will wear you down. The frustration and despair will get stronger. The more those lower and slower feelings intensify, the more difficult it will be to let go of your mind. The more you are stuck in your mind, the more you will suffer. So what are we to do? We wish that we could give you a more helpful answer, but we cannot, for you live on the planet of free choice. It is up to you. Will you choose the protection of your mind, or will you trust us to protect you? Will you trust that which you cannot see or understand? Will you give up being in control and hand the rudder of your life over to us? Will you allow yourself to be fully vulnerable? Will you allow yourself to let the light guide you? If you choose to do so, you will have to stand in the midst of the darkness, being completely vulnerable and open as you walk through the fire. This is not a test, it is merely a choice. Your choice. Will you trust us to guide you through the intense energy of change, or will you trust your mind? Are you prepared to stand in the midst of the darkness, in the center of the fire, and simply surrender? It may feel that you will die, but let us assure you that choice is better than trusting your mind to lead the way. By trusting your mind, you will die 1,000 deaths. Why do you speak of dying, we hear you ask? Because in the dying, you will be reborn. We have told you that in the energy of great potential for change, that the status quo is not an option. And for change to truly happen, death must occur. For a new door to open, an old door must close. That is the way of evolution. Birth and death. They are both required for true change to occur. If you insist on holding on to the old, there can be no new. If you insist on holding on to all of you, then you will not change. Of course, you cannot hold on to all of you, because by design, you are always changing. Source designed the human form in such a way that cells would die off and new ones would grow. Birth and death, the cycles of conscious life. But we are talking about more than cells of your physicality. We are talking about the part of you that is not controlled by the source. We are talking about that part of you that your free choice controls, your mind. For you are not your mind, just as you are not your body. Often, you have no choice in how your body changes, but you do have a choice in how your mind changes or doesn't change. So here we are at the teaching for today, the conscious choice you must make. Will you hold on to your mind? Will you leave it in control of your life? Or will you allow your heart to be in charge? Will you allow the limiting beliefs of your mind to die? Will you let what you were taught die so that you may truly live? Will you choose rebirth, or will you insist on trying to stay in control and possibly perish? All that is in your mind is temporary. It is fleeting and not permanent, and yet so many of you hold on to the mind for dear life. You think if you let go of your mind, what you believe, what you were taught, you will have nothing, and you will be nothing. But maybe what is in your mind is merely an illusion, a story that someone told you. What if the story is not true? The only way you can begin anew, to be reborn, to change you and your world, is to let go of the mind and wipe the slate clean. It is time to let die the beliefs and thoughts that no longer serve you or your world. Although the mind is temporary, there is a part of you that lives on for infinity. That part of you that is the source. That part of you that has been here many times before. That part of you that knows all that ever was, all that is, and all that will ever be. And what we are suggesting is let that part of you lead the way as you let go of your mind. For when you transition from this lifetime expression and come back to the source, you will not be taking your mind with you. If what we are telling you is true, and change is not an option, and that change must occur on your planet, then the best way for you to allow change to come forth into your life is to let go of the mind and open up to spirit to lead you forth. By doing so, your mind will be recalibrated to operate in a new way. It will be reprogrammed in a way that brings more compassion, more empathy, more kindness, and more understanding to your world. The old beliefs that have resulted in hatred, bigotry, fear, competition, and persecution will die off and be replaced with a kinder, gentler way. And we know what we are proposing is scary and frightening. How can you let go of all you have been taught, all that you believe is true? But let us assure you that change will happen on your planet. So if you want to ensure that your planet continues in the cycle of expansion, you must decide if you want to keep your old ways or allow yourself to change how you think. The time is now to choose. The choice is yours. Let your mind as you know it die so you may live. Yes, live in a new way. Live by the heart. Live by the spirit. For when you live by the heart, you will hear us always. It will be more difficult as you go through the cycles of lower and slower feelings, but soon you will see that even when you feel down, you will know we are with you, guiding you forth. You will have come to trust us in a way you did not think was possible. And so the lesson has once again come full circle. The only way to be reborn, to allow the parts of you that no longer serve you to die, is to trust us completely. To be in the midst of the fire and not to fear, but to trust. To be in the midst of the darkness and to not fear, but to trust. The road to your liberation at this time in human history is to trust that which you will never know or fully comprehend. Faith is your only salvation. Faith will get you through the fire without being burned. Faith will get you through the darkness. Fear lives in your mind. Faith lives in your heart of hearts. And with this new absolute faith, you will be able to change in a very miraculous way. Your world will continue to grow and expand in ways you never thought possible. Are you ready to drop your mind and have faith enough to live by your heart of hearts? Are you ready to let Spirit lead the way? We bring you this message from a place of love. We are with you now and forever. Do you trust us?